Hi, I'm Daryl with Alberta Laundry Systems. We get asked a lot of questions how to repair inlet valves on the bigger Electrolux Wascomat machines. Especially you folks at Alberta Health Services, you need to know this information for all the equipment you've got out there. Any of the machines that are 60 pounds bigger, 60 pounds capacity and larger, they will have these brass valves. We have an assortment of brass valves out here, so let's show you how they work. First off, we want to show how they work. If you understand how a valve works, then you'll understand how to repair it. All valves work on balancing the water pressure from the top and the bottom of the diaphragm. Water comes in, goes through a tiny hole or an orifice, goes to the top of the diaphragm. There will be a hole in the top of the diaphragm in different configurations, and it will be sealed off by a piston. And the piston will get raised by a magnetic field. It'll raise, that'll create a low pressure area on the top, and then the water can flow over and around the seat and down. There's a number of different ways these valves balance the water, but there will be a small hole somewhere. It has to be sealed off on the top, and then the spring pressure will seat 60, 80, 100 pounds pressure. So let's take a look at the different valves we have. So this is typically what we see on a 60 and 75 pound Electrolux. This is part number 821071. You'll find it's got just two screws, inlet, outlet, and a coil. How you take it apart. Remove the nut, the screw, that pulls off. Now we're looking at that valve like that. This particular valve is a little different than this one. This is the older style. You'd see that on older EXSMs. And again, it's a little simpler, but they're all the same. Remember the rough rule of thumb: if it's leaking a little bit, you'll have a bad seat, and then you can either repair the valve, put in a new kit, or replace it. The other issue you'll see is it'll be running all the time. If it's running all the time and it's a heavy flow, you know, almost like if the valve is on, take a look at the valve, take it apart, and you'll probably find some debris under the seat, like a washer, slag from soldering, something like that. I have a valve apart right here. So this is your 821071 that's in the newer Electrolux equipment. When you have your cap on it, be sitting like that, and you've just got some cap screws on. These ones here are Allen key. You'll take it apart and you'll have actually there's a spring in here, and that's the spring that holds 80 pounds pressure, so it goes in right here. Be careful when you take them apart, they jump and you'll lose it. So if it's running full bore, take it apart and you'll probably find some debris inside there. If it's leaking just a little bit, when you take it apart, you'll see right on this here, this is where our seat is to balance our hydraulic pressure. Here is a good seat, here is a bad one right there. You can reface these seats. Here's one that's even worse, but we found that that's only a temporary fix. You're better off to replace them. On some of our other configurations of valves, the seat will actually be okay, and we'll have it running all the time, and you have a pressure equalizing orifice on the back end of the valve. And this will be situated like that, and you'll see that on some of the older 3/4 valves, and you'll see it on actually the 1 1/4 valve that you'll see on the 100-pound machines and bigger. And that one there, if it's running all the time, you have to take a look at that. There's a tiny orifice in there, and that can plug up with scale and debris. And what you want to do is use a tip cleaner from a welding kit and take it and ream it out. So you'll put it in, sorry, see I'm really shaking today. You'll take it and ream it out like that and clean it up. And that's how you'll get it to work. Most times, if the seat's gone, you'll replace it. They're not an expensive valve. Canadian dollars right now, we're selling them for around $185, $195, something like that. Significantly cheaper than some of our competition. We do carry the kits, we do carry springs, we can get you up and running if need be. The big thing to remember is they can be repaired, they can be cleaned out. If you have any issues or questions, phone us here at Alberta Laundry Systems and we'll walk you through how to repair them. Thank you very much.